This morning, a 72-year-old woman passed away unexpectedly. The cause? A mistake she made, without even realizing it. Something so common that many people over 70 do it every single day. The truth is, as we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to small habits that might have seemed harmless in our younger years. Unfortunately, those seemingly small choices can add up in ways that put our health at serious risk. In this video, we're diving into 4 morning mistakes that could be putting you in danger without you realizing it. These are mistakes that can affect your heart, your circulation, your balance, and even your brain function. The worst part? Most people over 70 make at least one of these mistakes every single morning. But the good news is, once you're aware of them, they're easy to fix. Avoiding them could mean the difference between a healthy, active life and a serious medical emergency. Stay with me until the end because the final mistake is one that almost no one talks about, but it's one of the most dangerous. Many seniors don't even realize they're doing it, yet it can significantly increase the risk of falls, dizziness, and even heart problems. You don't want to miss it. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you enjoy this video, please type 1 in the comments. If you don't like it, type 0 in the comments to let me know so I can make better videos for you. Now let's get started. Mistake 1. Getting out of bed too quickly. Remember those mornings in your 30s or 40s when you'd hop out of bed like a jackrabbit ready to tackle the day? Maybe you had kids to chase or a job that wouldn't wait. Back then, your body snapped to attention without a second thought. But now, at 72 or 78, that same quick leap might leave you wobbly, your head spinning for a moment before you catch your breath. It's not just you. Our circulatory system slows a bit with age. After a night of rest, blood settles in your legs and feet, and standing up too fast can drop your blood pressure like a stone. Doctors call it orthostatic hypotension, but you might just call it that dizzy spell that makes you grab the bedpost. Those youthful days of boundless energy feel distant now, don't they? Maybe you miss that spring in your step, but there's beauty in how our bodies still carry us forward, asking only for a little patience in return. Take Edward, a spry 74-year-old who loved his early walks with his dog Max. Every morning he'd swing his legs over the bed's edge and pop up like he was still 40. But one day, though, the room went black for a split second. He stumbled, landing back on the mattress instead of the floor. Lucky, really. That near miss woke him up in more ways than one. Falls are no small thing for us as we age. The CDC says they're the leading cause of injury for folks over 65, with 1 in 4 taking a tumble each year. For Edward, it was a nudge to slow down. He'd always prided himself on keeping up with Max's eager pace, but that morning taught him a quiet truth. Even the strongest among us need to listen when our bodies whisper for a gentler start. Here's a gentler way to start. When your eyes flutter open, take a few deep breaths, feel the air fill your chest, and wiggle your fingers and toes like you're waking them up too. Then ease onto your side, letting your legs slide off the bed as you sit up, slow and steady, feet flat on the floor. Before you stand, give your ankles a little roll, stretch your arms overhead, and let your body catch up. It's just a handful of seconds, but it's like saying good morning to your heart and balance. Life lessons from the elderly, like my grandma's patient rise, teach us that rushing isn't always winning. Those extra moments could keep you upright and ready for whatever the day brings. Think of it as a small gift to yourself, a way to honor the years you've lived and the mornings still ahead. Mistake 2. Skipping water in the morning. Think back to those hot summer days when you'd work in the yard or play with the grandkids, gulping water to keep going. Hydration felt urgent then, didn't it? But in the quiet of morning, it's easy to forget that need. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body's been busy, breathing, dreaming, keeping your heart ticking, and it's lost water through every exhale and bead of sweat. By the time you wake, you're already a little parched, even if you don't feel it yet. For us over 70, that mild dehydration can thicken blood and sluggish circulation, nudging up risks for high blood pressure or even a stroke. Remember how refreshed you felt after a cool drink back then? These days, that same need sneaks up quieter, but it's just as real. Our bodies still crave that tender care. James 76 learned this the hard way. He'd shuffle to the kitchen each morning, brew his coffee, and sip it while the world woke up. It was his ritual for decades, a comfort from his days as a school teacher. But lately, he'd noticed a fog settling in, dizziness here, a headache there. His doctor asked, "What's the first thing you drink?" When James said coffee, the doc suggested a switch. Water first. A week later, James felt clearer, steadier, like the cobwebs had lifted. Studies back this up. About 75% of Americans wake up dehydrated, and for older adults that can hit harder because our thirst signals weaken with age. He'd always loved those quiet coffee moments, but now he saw how a small shift could bring back the sharpness he'd missed. Try this. Keep a glass of water by your bed, cool or warm with a squeeze of lemon if you like, and take a few sips before your feet hit the floor. It's like watering a garden after a dry night. Everything perks up. Your heart pumps easier, your kidneys hum along, and even your stiff joints might loosen a bit. Life lessons from the elderly remind us that the simplest acts, like a morning sip, can breathe new energy into our days. Why not give your body that gentle boost it's been asking for? It's a small nod to the years you've nurtured others. Now it's your turn to feel that lift, a little ritual to greet the morning with grace. If you're finding this helpful so far, would you mind giving the video a quick like? It really helps more folks like us find it. And if you'd like to hear more stories, reflections, and gentle reminders like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We're building a kind little community here, one where experience is honored and wisdom is shared. Mistake 3. Drinking coffee before eating anything. Oh, that first whiff of coffee brewing. There's nothing quite like it, is there? For so many of us, it's been the signal that the day's begun. Maybe ever since we were pouring it from a thermos on the way to work or sipping it over breakfast with the kids. But if you're rolling out of bed at 73 or 77 and reaching for that cup before anything else, you might be stirring up more than just caffeine. On an empty stomach, coffee's acidity can poke at your insides, and that jolt of cortisol, the stress hormone already high in the morning, can leave you jittery or queasy. Those busy years taught us to grab and go, didn't they? Now, though, our bodies hum a softer tune, asking for a gentler start to savor that familiar warmth without the sting. Roberta, 75, knows this tale too well. She'd start her day with black coffee, a habit from her nursing days when meals came second to patience. Over time, though, her stomach started grumbling back, acid reflux creeping in more often than not. She thought it was spicy dinners or just getting older, until her doctor pointed to that empty stomach brew. He suggested a little something first, a banana, a handful of almonds, and within days the burn eased up. Research nods along, caffeine hits harder without food, spiking blood sugar and stress levels, especially as our digestion gets touchier with age. Roberta missed those hectic shifts, but she learned her old friend coffee needed a new companion, something small to soften its edge and keep her feeling steady. You don't have to ditch the coffee, just tweak the order. Grab a slice of toast, a few crackers, or a piece of fruit before that first sip. It's like laying a soft blanket down for your stomach, smoothing out the ride. You'll still get that warm lift, but without the crash or the grumbles. Life lessons from the elderly, like Roberta's tweak, show us that timing can turn a comfort into a kindness for our bodies. What's your morning cup asking of you these days? It's a small shift, a whisper of care for the years you've poured into others. Now let it pour back into you with a steadier, sweeter start to your day. Mistake 4. Ignoring morning stiffness and moving too quickly. Do you ever wake up feeling like your knees or back are still asleep, stiff as a board from the night before? Maybe you chalk it up to just aging, like so many of us do, and push through it, headed for the bathroom or the kitchen without a second thought. I get it. You've always been the type to keep moving, whether it was chasing toddlers or tending a garden. But here's the quiet truth. Overnight, your muscles and joints tighten up. Age slows the flow of that slippery fluid that keeps them gliding, and rushing into motion can tip you off balance or twist something tender. Those days of bounding after little ones feel like a distant memory now, don't they? Yet your spirit still yearns to move. It's just asking for a kinder, slower hello. Walter 78 was that active soul, always up and at 'em, even with a little creak in his step. One morning, though, he swung out of bed, took a quick stride, and down he went, his hip slamming the floor. Months of recovery followed, all because he didn't give his body a moment to warm up. The National Institute on Aging says stiffness is common. Over 50% of folks over 65 feel it daily, but it's not a sentence to sit still. It's a sign to ease in. Walter had loved tending his roses, proud of his steady hands, until that fall reminded him even the strongest stems bend with care. Now he's relearning patience, one careful step at a time. Before you sit up, try this. Wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your ankles like you're drawing circles in the air, stretch your arms toward the ceiling, then, still lying down, lift a knee or two toward your chest, waking up those hips. Sit up slow, roll your shoulders, and breathe deep. When you stand, lean on the bed or a chair if you need to. No shame in that. It's a minute or two, but it's like oiling a rusty hinge. Walter's back at it now, slower but surer, and he swears by those stretches. Life lessons from the elderly whisper that honoring our limits builds strength, not weakness. How could a little morning stretch brighten your day? It's a quiet gift, a way to dance with time instead of racing it. Final thoughts. Let's pause and reflect on those mornings you've lived through. Do you see a bit of yourself in Edward, rising too fast with that old spark still flickering? Or maybe James, lost in his coffee haze, craving the comfort of routine? Perhaps Roberta's fiery stomach rings true, or Walter's stiff stumble feels all too familiar. These habits weave themselves into our days so quietly, don't they? But here's the gentle wonder of it all. You don't have to stay tangled in them. After 70, each morning becomes more than just a start. It's a chance to tend to the remarkable body that's carried you through decades of laughter, tears, and everything in between. A good morning doesn't mean turning your world upside down. It's about those small, loving shifts that keep your heart singing, your feet sure, and your soul light. Aging isn't the unyielding wall we sometimes fear it to be. It's more like a river, shaped by the paths we choose. Every sip of water, every careful step, every stretch you take molds your energy and freedom in ways you might not even notice at first. The CDC tells us 80% of folks our age live with at least one chronic condition, but here's the secret. These little habits can soften that burden. You've gathered a lifetime of wisdom, raising families, weathering storms, finding joy in the everyday. Now's the time to pour that know-how into your mornings, turning quiet lessons into steps forward. One philosophy I've come to love is this: the smallest seed, planted with care, can grow the mightiest tree. Isn't that what we've learned over the years? What stirred your heart today? Was it the thought of greeting the day with water, like a friend welcoming you back? Or maybe easing into movement, honoring the body, that's danced you through life? I'd be so grateful if you'd share a note below, tell me one thing you might try, or something you already do that works for you. Your stories are the heartbeat of this journey, and your strength lifts us all. If these words sparked a smile or a bit of hope, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and share it with someone dear. Let's keep this circle growing, showing the world that every day after 70 can glow with purpose and peace. My grandma had a saying that stuck with me: the longest day starts with a single step. She'd remind me that life's not about rushing to the end, it's about savoring each stride, steady and true. So let's take that step together, friends, with grace and grit. Here's to mornings that cradle us gently and lives that bloom brighter with every sunrise.